TDN Africa. TDN Africa Media. TDN Africa Media.
Under Shehu Shangari, the military was deployed there, and we are not really different from these people. 2018 clearly showed that the violence is serious, and against that background, we decided actually from that point, and the recent is actually the August 10, 2018, where we lost 7 police officers. 6 actually was within that period, and the 7th was one Fatoma who died because his skull was broken, and he followed the 6 other 7. But let me make it clear that we are not prepared to lose any police officer anymore. We will not lose any police officer anymore. Central to the Western democracy is 1, political tolerance. 2, people to obey rule of law. And always the police is demonized. That, they obey orders from the above. They always say, well, let me make certain things clear to you people. Those from the above are politically tolerant. They obey rule of law. And those who accuse us, who are actually down there, are the ones actually they are not obeying the law. They are not politically tolerant. Let me give you clearly this scenario. On a particular Monday, a political party was given a chance to register. They submitted list of 20 individuals who were to join, their flag bearer and the running mate. The flag bearer and the running mate, the ECSL decided actually to allow them to come with their vehicles involving their immediate families. And so what they did, their flag bearer decided to join Keke and give the vehicle to other people to just mount. They said they were journalists. And you know I'm a journalist, so when it comes to journalists, the journalists and other people. And what was much disheartening was that we contacted them, their hierarchy, for them to understand that they should talk to their membership to stay either in their party office or wherever they will identify, so that after the nomination they will go and address them. With all what we said actually fell on deaf ears. They decided to go to ECSL. God only knows if they would have gone there, whether anything would have happened. We engaged them, but my disappointment is where rarely you see a lawyer actually flouting the law. And they came, people who were not supposed to be accompanied, they came, they said they wanted to be accompanied. And so we engaged them at Gloucester Street, by Garrison Street. They pushed us up to the library board, and they decided to be found. And so we gave them a few tear gas canisters, because before ever they could realize that we were very serious, and because they realized that after that the other voice would be different from tear gas canisters. So that is how we were able to resolve that. But I could remember a very senior member of that political party said, Bramaja, what's happening? I said, I'm disappointed. I said, you as a lawyer should understand that central to Western democracy, which we are practicing here, is that there should be political tolerance and respect for rule of law. He said, hey, well, you are telling me that? He said, I'm a lawyer. I said, that's not the reason why I'm telling you. So that you should go and tell your membership that they should actually stop. Then, after the nomination, you will go and talk to them. And so, we were able to contain them there. People came up to me and said, oh, Constable, your colleague, this boy is a lawyer. This and that. I told them, I'm disappointed because, but use your discretion, no? I said, if I use my discretion wrongly, I'll be found wanting. And there's one thing I want people to understand, that when you are using your discretion, it has to be based on rule of law. Because if it has no basis of law, you will be brought in because that discretion will be wrongly used. And so I told him, if I even allow you to cross, you will not be able to allow to enter because they have the same list I'm showing you now. And when you get to them, that is where they are actually going to give you the list of accreditation. If your name is not there, you are not going to enter. And let me tell you something. People have parties or other things. If I'm not invited, Ramadan will never go there. That is shameful. So the other day, another political party came to register, but they asked their followers to go to somewhere, to go to Achuga Stadium and wait for them. And after that, they went there. So there was no reason for us to face them. So what we are saying here that political parties actually should obey rule of law, and that they should be politically tolerant. They always say, "Oh, the police is high-handed," well, and it's because the ruling government is actually telling them what to do.
Yeah.
But the irony here is that the ruling government is obeying law. If President Bio is leaving for the provinces, we are told about everywhere he's going to go and where he's going to get engagements. That is how far they go to tell us. And so we make preparations for that. And the other people who always say, no, it's actually those above that are giving them order. They don't want to go that way. When you engage with them, for example, the problem we had with the 38, people even called me from abroad. My 38. The flag bearer came back. He was to come by either seacoast or seabird or the ferry. So he passed the night at Longi. The next morning, he changed his mind. He said, no. But I know they go with ferry. I know they go with any of this. I get for rand now for go free town. I said, okay. We engage him. He said, okay. You are asking now, this is more or less a procession you are going to do where those that are going to follow you, the population will so be huge that we are not prepared for this. But then, let us reach understanding, those that will be able to police. But prior to that, let me tell you, when Dr. Samura actually was given the flag bearership, I really went to support my colleague in McKinney. We really proved to them that this SLP, under the able leadership of the Honorable Inspector General, Mr. Fayeselu, is professional. And that is why any operation we give our personnel to do, we attach to them the CDID to observe that they actually professionally execute their duties. Where they fall short, we deal with them seriously. And so I was sent by the Inspector General to ensure that it was professionally done. And so, by 2 o'clock in the morning, we were told that people have planned to seize one of the boxes and break them so that everything will start. We rushed there, we professionally handled that, and so he was elected. I again went to his house for him to tell us when he was coming down to Freetown. He said a retired Assistant Inspector General, Mr. Karo Kamara, will come back to us. And okay, so I told the regional commander of Northeast to make a follow. And so we agreed that they specifically told us where they were going to make stopovers and talk to them. One was from McKinney, they would stop over in Lunsa. From Lunsa, they were to stop over in Waterloo. Waterloo, their office. It is important for you to note that at every almost point where a few people were gathered, is kept on waiting. I really went to Waterloo to wait for my colleague who came there. And from Waterloo, in fact, they decided to use the 2 lanes, which really was contrary to our arrangement, because we told them that in procession, you use 1 lane and you give the other lane for vehicular traffic, so that people can go about their business. So, from Waterloo, we nearly came to their headquarters 2 a.m. 2 a.m. And so you all are aware of the security which is here and there, when there were altercations here and there, because we did not expect that. We actually, and they came, the route we decided that they should come with, they used another route, and we are told that they had problems here and there. Let me tell you, the reason why we always ask not only political parties, but those who want to process, that they should engage the police is the fact that what you are processing against, people may be processing in favor. And that those that we have actually to moderate it and ensure that there is actually orderliness is the police. So therefore, we ask them that you contact the Inspector General of Police so that we agree on the routes you are using. If you have marshals, those marshals actually will join the police to ensure that they are properly policed. And those hoodlums who actually want to hijack for their own benefit so that they could loot, they will be isolated and arrested. But when we have agreed on the routes that are from McKinney to Waterloo, right down you come by Abacha Street, Shakespeare Street, Asanda Street, Orwilla and their headquarters. And at, I remember somebody told me that because of the fact that the time is late, can't we use the Regent? I said, no, that was not what we agreed on. We should use the route we have agreed on because that is where we have stationed our police officers to ensure that they are fully protected. Then the other group used the route we have not agreed on. And so whatever went on there, we were not responsible for that. So that shows that rule of law was not obeyed. And so we were thinking that, we were thinking that by midday, at most between 12 and 5 o'clock, they would have been in here. It was 2 a.m. And so from that time, so when the flag bearer came of that political party of the All People's Congress, we agreed that we are not prepared to actually man a procession. And so we agreed with him that he should have 10 vehicles in his convoy, which will be able to process. We alerted the AIG in Poloko so that the LUC at Lunge Airport and Lunge Division should actually provide security to the Poloko and then to them to Mashaka to the boundaries to go somewhere. So our ocean, by the time we got to Mashaka, the individuals who were in the convoy were so huge that the police were overwhelmed. So when we got to Mile 38, we told him that, look, the number is so huge, we cannot actually police this, given the fact that similar thing actually we agreed on, and the opposite actually happened from McKinney after his election. And so we said, look, we'll allow you to go along with it. Vehicles, 10 vehicles including yours. And those other ones, we'll allow them to join you bit by bit so that the police will not be overwhelmed ahead. That was where they said, no. We have all of them, we have to come down to freedom. And so if you heard of the stand-up, that was the point. This is Western democracy Sierra Leone is practicing. But some of you are not very much aware of the history of Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone was the seat of administration for British West Africa. It was Sierra Leone that the entire British West Africa was governed. It was Sierra Leone that the appeal court of Nigeria was had. Nigeria, the almighty Nigeria you hear. The appeal court was had here in Sierra Leone. It was in Sierra Leone in 1814, known as the Niger Expedition, that Sierra Leoneans went to Abeokuta, Ibadan, and other Yoruba areas, where they physically constructed schools so that they too should benefit from Western education and civilization, which the British actually decided that from Sierra Leone they will propagate it right across Africa. It is this Sierra Leone that had the first university in sub-Saharan Africa. I remember my deputy director at joint support and coordination mechanism in Addis Ababa from Uganda said, Mr. Bremeja, is public college as better as when my grandfather went there? As a nationalist, I told him, it's been better than the time your grandfather went there. But I was given a shock of my life. He said, well, come. So here is Google. He said, write 100 best universities in Africa. I was shocked that we are not there. But that is just to tell you how West Africa actually regarded Sierra Leone. Because of the natural harbor we here, the British squadron was actually established here after Britain had declared slavery illegal. And it was from there, we call it the recaptives, from the high seas were captured and the human cargoes deposited here. And that is where, from here down to the Kingdom of Togo, which is present-day Congo, their human cargoes were deposited here. And so here was established as a kind of hub from where British civilization and education should be extended right across Africa. And if you go to Boy, which is part of Cameroon today, they speak Creole like you and I. The same Creole. I never believed when I was in understood history and I was doing research, I was told that the people in southern Cameroon, in Boy, they speak the same Creole as us. Until I was actually working as international professional staff in the UN. I went to buy in a Safeway that was just around the corner there. And I met people standing there, a handful of them. And this woman was saying, oh, no man is full. This, he did not say the mommy began malaria, but to God, he not do nothing. He not do nothing, no man, he not get a case. Tell me if I did not think that they were from Sierra Leone. So I just said, hey, well, Fambo, how they salute? He said, what? How they fit up? He said, no, we are Cameroonians. But that is there to prove that. How this country helps in establishing education and Western civilization across Africa. We, like the British themselves, are so have come back. But I'm telling you that we have not actually forgotten that. Our own policing is modeled and structured on the British system of policing. We are political. We join no political party. We tell our members of the Sierra Leone police that they need to be very professional in executing their functions. So in 2018, when we actually made a tour of this country, we realized that there were areas of flashpoints, hotspots in other words. And there were areas of hotspots which actually require joint deployment with the military. People always ask me, why is it that the Israeli police will always have to be supported by the military? Well, I've actually cited the Mexican border, the issue in India, and the 1981 issue in Nigeria, Kano State, to be specific. But we actually meet with the military on a lot of areas. We actually join with the military to ensure border management. So we always meet with the military to ensure that there is proper border management. We ask the military that when, for example, His Excellency is going across or we have foreign diplomats coming into this country, that they should be able to assist us by providing their neighbor way to actually ensure that they are properly protected from Lungi to Freetown, so that terrorists will not create any problem. But let me equally make it clear here that the military does not only provide support to the police. The MAXI is actually where the military provide assistance to the communities. The military equally provides security, provides support to the MACD, which is actually government department. For example, when we had the Ebola, we had the COVID, and so. But in all of this, it is where actually there is lack of capacity. with the military, when President Jan Kaba of blessed memory came back, and the Bumuna had been vandalized, the military and the police were deployed there to ensure that it was upgraded to 95% before actually President Kaba left the presidency. So we actually work with the military because what happened in 2022, August 10, was the first of a very shocking experience since I've been in the place for over 34 years, where civilians will attack police, knock them down, kill them, and even when they are dead, they will take sticks to hit their dead bodies. And so the military, we are very much grateful that they have been with us. And so when we tour around the country after 2018, we realized that there were hotspots, and some of the hotspots needed joint deployment. That is why with the military, we jointly deployed there. As we talk, in the western area, which is almost the epicenter of disorder, we have joint military deployment with the police. They are static as well as mobile. The static are where we consider to be the epicenters where the police and the military are deployed. And at the divisional headquarters, we actually have military deployment there with the OSD and the general duties that we tour around. They tour around that at those locations, if they actually are faced with difficulty, nearly overwhelmed, they will go and support them. And we want to replicate this right across the length and breadth. I remember when I was in Kenema, I told them you did not have the experience of August 10, but you equally have experiences of where you have other challenges during the electioneering. And we informed them that with the brigade commanders, they should be able to come together and deploy and ensure that there's proper enforcement in the rule of law. And so the police has done that. In fact, that is more the reason why we have been able to establish the FCPs, the 4 control points. That is at divisional level. And at divisional level, we have told it's not only telling them, because police is semi-regimental, we have instructed the LUCs to ensure that they have been able within their police divisions to engage the stakeholders within their police divisions, because police is not present everywhere at the same time. And that is why far back in 1965, when I was not even born, that those legislators decided that they should give some amount of powers to members of the public. And so when you go to section 11 of Criminal Procedure Act number 32 of 1965, they gave 5 powers of arrest to civilians. So in my village where there is no police presence, if somebody rapes a minor, the chief will instruct the arrest of that individual and detention. And if it were a night, they could not be able to travel. In the next morning, he will call the youths to join the victim and the suspect to take them to the nearest police station, which is the proviso section 12. And section 13 gives from the least police officer to the inspector general of police 6 powers of arrest. Because you can run into somebody who is carrying a drug. Are you really going to go to the magistrate courts to file in your arrest your warrant of arrest for it to be signed? Do you think that drug barrel is going to wait for you there? No. You arrest him under section 13 of Criminal Procedure Act number 32 of 1965 and deposit him to the nearest police station for investigation and where there is evidence to be charged to court. So it's well prepared from that point. The police is very much aware, given the fact that we have decided to embark on the community policing. The community policing is to actually clearly tell you that there are various systems of policing. For instance, in the past, police officers will sit in automobiles, they patrol, they talk to nobody. And so the impact on the community policing was very small. There were those that would patrol all over, they talked to nobody, and so they were not able to make a greater impact. But then we settled down to community places where there is community engagement, cooperation, and collaboration, where communities actually tell the police what are their concerns, so that the police will translate their concerns into police operations. And that is why we are getting the successes, because we believe that crimes happen in communities. Those that commit crimes actually are people residing in communities, and the community people are in better position to tell the police what are their problems. And so we have already arranged that so that the LPPB, the Local Police Partnership Board, we actually work with the LUCs within their communities, and what are their concerns, policing-wise, the LUCs will be able to provide it, handle it, and address it. And at the 4 control points, the LUCs will be able, after the observations, to escalate it to the regional commanders, where we call the ICCs, the Incident Command Centers. And from there, they escalate it further to the NJOC, the National Joint Operation Centers, here in Freetown at Morita. So during elections, we will be stationed there, so that when issues happen from the divisions, escalated to the regions, and then it comes down to us. But let me tell you, while we sit there, we are able to see what clearly is happening at divisional level. And so we sit there and give them instructions. If it is terms of giving them backup of police officers, we do that immediately. We will not wait until it gets to the ICC before it gets to us. We have drones. Those drones actually will be able to tell us, interpret what is happening on the ground. And as what is happening on the ground, we actually address those issues. But let me shock you. We actually observe clearly what is happening in the social media. And then we see people who are saying, the police have told us that when we vote, we should go home. But we are not going home. We'll stay around. Let those people be informed that we are ready for them. Because even the provision that is provided for them, when they vote, there's a distance they should actually stay. You cannot vote and just cluster around. No, we will not allow that. And that is why we have trained our police officers and partners so that we shall be on the same level playing field to ensure that this election is properly policed. Those who vote and say they will not go home, they will be breaching what is established, that when you vote, you clear that. Those who think that they will carry voting materials so as to create problems, they will be shocked equally, because we provide snapshot checkpoints. We have already organized that. And that is intelligence-led. So when we have information that people have actually have some ballot papers they want to go and stop there, they will have shock of their lives, because they will meet police officers making barriers. We will search them. When we find with that, we will arrest them. Take them to the nearest police station. Let me equally inform this august body that the police has actually established in the length and breadth of this country election investigation bodies. Because we know that after
TDN Africa. TDN Africa Media. TDN Africa Media.
Mama say put me online now. I need education, I need information and news. TDN will let you know. We bring you entertainment, we bring you the people's view. We don't just do the talk, we verifying before reporting. We don't just do the talking, we verifying before reporting. In independence and credibility, that's why we are here to bring you unbiased news. We believe in independence and credibility, because we are here to bring you unbiased news.
TDN Africa. TDN Africa Media. TDN Africa Media.
Mommy say put me online now. I need education, I need information and news. TDN will let you know. We bring you entertainment, we bring you the people's view. We don't just do the talk, we verifying before reporting. We don't just do the talking, we verifying before reporting. In independence and credibility, that's why we are here to bring you unbiased news. We believe in independence and credibility, because we are here to bring you unbiased news.
TDN Africa. TDN Africa Media. TDN Africa Media.
Mommy say put me online now. I need education, I need information and news. TDN will let you know. We bring you entertainment, we bring you the people's view. We don't just do the talk, we verifying before reporting. We don't just do the talking, we verifying before reporting. In independence and credibility, that's why we are here to bring you unbiased news. We believe in independence and credibility, because we are here to bring you unbiased news.
TDN Africa. TDN Africa Media. TDN Africa Media.
Mommy say put me online now. I need education, I need information and news. TDN will let you know. We bring you entertainment, we bring you the people's view. We don't just do the talk, we verifying before reporting. We don't just do the talking, we verifying before reporting. In independence and credibility, that's why we are here to bring you unbiased news. We believe in independence and credibility, because we are here to bring you unbiased news.
TDN Africa.
me say put me online now. I need education, I need information and news. TDN will let you know. We bring you entertainment, we bring you the people too. We don't just do the talk, we verifying before reporting. We don't just do the talking, we verifying before reporting. Independence and credibility, that's why we are here to bring you unbiased news. We believe in independence and credibility, because we are here to bring you unbiased news.
General, as Honorable Inspector General. He has been a member of Parliament and Minister of State for Security, Internal Security. And though he is no longer a member of Parliament for Internal Security, but he's still playing the role. And so our Honorable Inspector General has distributed more vehicles because of this sitting government making it possible. Because without vehicles, we cannot respond on time. And one thing you should understand, our response time is very important. If you are given a stress call, it takes longer for you to get there. You either meet those victims dead, or you meet they have done what they are planned to do, and they are left. And so we are telling our regional commanders, and that will cascade down to the LECs, that the response time will equally look at it. If you are called on stress call and you do not respond on time, and something could not be done, and crime is committed. And that is why I told you earlier that we are actually mandating our CDID, the Complaint Discipline and Internal Investigation Department, to monitor those issues to see if they actually discharge their functions within the provisions of professionalism. And so, be rest assured, when you go home, you may even lie down and still continue snoring. The police is awake with the military and our partners who will ensure no harm come your way. But those who think that they cannot obey law, let them be advised that the police is awake and will let them face the full force of the law. For say, where you are vote, no, I'm not go. I say they vote me. You have. That is why the ECSL has provided the provision that you nominate those who are accredited to tour around and see what is happening at the voting centers. You nominate your agents. So with all that, you are assured that if anything is going wrong, you will be notified. If with all that you are not actually satisfied that you have to go there and make the place unsafe, then be rest assured that the Sierra Leone police will not allow that. We have done our level best, we will continue to do our level best, and we ensure that this election, the general elections, at the same time we will have in our local council elections, will be fully policed with the police and our partners, the military in particular, to ensure that there is safety and security. We have already tasked the NFF to actually make sure that their fire engines are in proper working order and deploy them where we have sensitive voting materials, so that where in the event of accidental fire break, they will be able to handle that, so that those sensitive voting materials will be safe. We have already had an arrangement with the military to ensure that they provide transportation so that they will carry sensitive voting materials to the respective destinations and actually have more and the KRF, that's a quick response team, so that where we are overwhelmed, they will be able to materialize and we'll be able to handle it. So with all these arrangements, under the leadership of the NS Court and the primacy under the Australian police, under the leadership of the Honorable Inspector General, you rest assured that there is safety and security. We admonish you and the members of the public to be politically tolerant, to obey rule of law. If they fail to do so, they will face the full force of the law. I thank you all, my colleague journalists, as my police police officer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Manager, for giving us a complete overview of our preparedness and our readiness to go to the elections. We want to start the reporting, and AIG, which on the story.
No, don't have me once.
Can you brief us?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, friends in the Fourth Estate. We are happy that you are always coming around and getting in some of us. Because it is always important for us to inform our
TDN Africa. TDN Africa Media. TDN Africa Media.
Mama say put me online now. I need education, I need information and news. TDN will let you know. We bring you entertainment, we bring you the people's view. We don't just do the talk, we verifying before reporting. We don't just do the talking, we verifying before reporting. In independent and credibility, that's why we are here to bring you unbiased news. We believe in independence and credibility.
TDN Africa. TDN Africa Media. TDN Africa Media.
Mama say put me online now. I need education, I need information and news. TDN will let you know. We bring you entertainment, we bring you the
all of which amounted to 244,000 videos. That matter was under our active investigation. On the 16th, barely a week after that or so, the Congo Cross police station was informed that armed robbers have also attacked the premises of one Mr. Julian Awono Rena of number 7A Signahi Road, Freetown. They shot him on both legs, wounded him in the head, and robbed him of one iPhone 13 Pro Max phone, one CCTV, one camera. I don't know the specification anyway. Please excuse me for that. And also some other valuable items. Again, 3 days after that, on the 19th, of May 2023, at a place called Mosebo, this is off Batos in Regent. The High Court Judge, Justice Alfred Nanda, was also attacked by armed robbers. They stole $300 United States dollars, 2 mobile phones, 3 laptop computers, and the sum of 14,000 millions. On the SLP, as usual, ensured that these matters were actively investigated, and we deployed the asset that we have. We deployed our undercover agents. The IGP has established a special task force that can aid us with information relating to high-profile cases. So these assets were deployed, and on the 22nd of May, they arrested one Abdurrahman Fofana, is commonly called Uncle Lo, I must inform you, and very gladly so, has provided very useful information to these robberies, for which we have now arrested another of his co-suspects by the name of John Bangura, aka GB or GZ. His arrest was a very interesting one, and this was yesterday at Ijimi Market. When our men went to his abode, they ran towards the sea, and they thought he was jumping. He jumped into the sea. Luckily, we have trained marines as well, so they jumped into the river, into the ocean river, and they arrested him there. Much to their personal risk of losing valuable property. You know, the mobile phones are very expensive now. The wristwatches, smartwatches are very expensive. So those of our agents have to lose all of that at the course of duty. So GB is with us as well. And I can confirm that on individual basis they have confessed to 2 of the robberies, and each one confessing to 1. So 2 of the robberies we have confession for them. And very interesting as well, it led us to the discovery of 3 computers, all of which belong to Justice Alfred Ganda. This morning he was in my office and he has identified these computers. In fact, they were easy to identify because one of the computers, when you want to switch it on, I don't know how they call it, it comes on the screen, his face is there. So his name is there, and then his face and some other pictures. Unfortunately, his official computer we are still looking for it. And by God's grace, we are also going to be lucky for that one because the agents are looking at some people for that. So from now, we have those two, Onkolo and JD, who are armed robbers. And we have 3 others also. As you know, we have people who usually support the operations, and these are the people they sell to after the operations. So we have Abubakar Siddiqui, very interesting Muslim name. Abubakar Siddiqui. His alias name is Uber. We have Mohammed Suma. His alias name is Sosobon. And we have Yusuf Kamil. So we are looking for these ones. We are investigating them for the offense of receiving stolen items. Over the week also, we give support to the Ministry of Transport and Aviation. We were trying to carry through the projects. We call it the Integrated Urban Mobility Project, which is trying to give a facelift to our road infrastructure. And for those of you who've been around Lonely, you can see that when Lonely we've done the overhead bridges there, and you can see new railings. So what they asked us to do was to give them support to clear off the streets of street traders, otherwise they were not going to be able to do that job. So if you've been to Lonely Axis of recent, you can see that the streets are cleared. The contractor is now working, or the contractors are now working on the walkways, and they've started the erection of rails around the markets down to somewhere very close to the village. That is ongoing. I want to end my updates by encouraging people to always call upon the police. I'm saying this because of practical experience. I think it was on the 13th or so, armed robbers made an attempt at Kalon Drive. There's a house at Kalon Drive. I don't know the address now. But it was close to a building where they used to have the FAO office. So they also went to attack that house. But the people were smart. So they called on the police. They called on the Aberdeen police and also Ogongo Cross police. So my officers dispatched 2 vehicles, one coming from the beach and another one to the house. They ran away. So that tells us if we are able, because the director of operations was talking to you about our response time. If you contact us when you are attacked or under attack, we can do our best to come to your rescue. Usually what people are doing is only when the robbers are gone. Well, we cannot know whether we've had a chance, but just saying if you have a chance to just call, please call us. We'll be at your service. The toll-free line, I know the media people are always giving you, but just for emphasis, 112 900 and we send. If you want my commander's numbers in the West region, I can give it to you after here. I have it in my phone. For example, the one in Central is called Mr. XTZ Technology. It's on 078981010. So sorry, that is operations officer. Its operations officer is George Momo, 078981010. ITZ Tower is the NEC is on 079553158. For the rest of the others, I can give it to you. care to know. Please share this information with the general public. Let them call us when they are in distress. We will be available to come to their help. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We can now listen to the Commander of Freedom East. Director of Operation,
Regional Commander of Freedom West, colleagues, senior officers, junior officers, members of the Fourth Estate, good afternoon. I am John Martin Selensi, Regional Commander of Freedom East. As a way of preparing for a general election 2023, on the 7th of May 2023 to the 24th of May 2023, acting on a tip-off within the Freetown East region, the anti-drugs unit responded to several raids within the region, and several suspects were arrested. One for being in possession of drugs like kush, tramadol, and marijuana, and also some were arrested for abuse of drugs by potential youths by the anti-drug squad at Grafton, Town, Wellington, Calvert, respectively. A total number of suspects arrested within the Freetown East region were 30 in number, and 7 charged to courts for being in possession of drugs like kush, tramadol, cannabis, etc., based on the drugs analyst expert report. 23 of them were brought in for offenses of being found where people are used to take unlawful drugs. They were cautioned and warned. A Nigerian national by the name of Bamus Atus was also arrested for being in possession of harmful drugs such as cannabis, sativa, trauma, kush. The said suspect, case filed, and inquiries was transferred to Toku for further investigation. At 0920 hours, the local unit commander Waterloo Division, based on intelligence and information received, he instructed the ops team to proceed to Tumbo group, and they admonished them to stop the unlawful assembly and even the deprivation of other road users, but to no avail. Since they were overwhelmed, they called upon the regional, the local unit commander himself, so he also proceeded at the scene. He did further engagement that the assembling at the Tumbo Highway leading to Kent at that particular Sunday morning, it is unlawful because there was no police clearance given to them. Some of them were singing, playing loud music to the annoyance of the public, chanting, insulting others. Since they refused to dispatch from that scene, the commander and team were able to dispatch the crowd. And during that process, 11 suspects were arrested, 3 of them were female, 8 male. They were brought to Waterloo police station for further investigation. Investigation was conducted. Based upon the investigation, conducted at the Waterloo station, they were charged to court for the said offenses mentioned, that is ranging from causing noise without lawful authority, unlawful assembly, inciting conduct, affray, throwing missiles, and threatening to burn down the patrol vehicles that were at the scene. So based on that, they were charged according to our Public Order Act of 1965, section number 46. Freetown East personnel are currently providing security coverage for all political parties engaged in campaign within the Freetown East region. Mobile patrols, beat patrols, and vehicular patrols are ongoing within the region. Maximum checkpoint duties are ongoing. Currently, we are working in partnership with the communities so that we can ensure safety and security for our people. For any assistance within the region, you can simply contact me after the meeting so that I can submit a list of cell phone numbers of my local unit commanders. Thank you very much.
Thank you also. We can now listen to the head of community relations department.
Director of Operations, senior colleagues present, members of the 4th Estate, good afternoon. Community Relations Department, our outreach and community sensitizations continues at divisional level on peace and non-violence. This sensitization is nationwide and it is in concert with our local police in partnership board members and other CSOs. We continue to engage them on non-violence issues, to be law-abiding, and to obey the rule of law. As we've been saying in our previous press conferences, our messages have been segmented across the country, and we keep engaging our people so that the forthcoming elections will be peaceful. We equally continue to attend strategic engagements with election management bodies, MPAs, and security institutions like the ONS, HouseLab, Correctional Service, Fire Force, Immigration, etc., on issues involving on peace and non-violence for our 2023 multi-tier elections. This is ongoing across the country. Our sensitizations continue, and it is robust, as I would always say, across our communities, engaging them, because you cannot, ignorance of the law is no excuse. So we keep talking to them, so that at the end of the day, they will not fall victim. Our sensitizations continue, and we'll do that even after the elections. This is all for now.
Thank you. Let's hear from the man who is dealing with crime. Motion. Just one motion.
AKA the Lion.
Director of Operation, Acting Inspector General of Police, Mr. Brahmaja, Regional Commander AIG, Mr. Sylvester Kuruma, Regional Commander Region East, Dr. Senesi, Media One, Head of Community Relations Department, members of the Fourth Estate, good afternoon. I'm Prisoner Joshua Musa from the Criminal Investigation Department Headquarters, Operations Unit. On the 15th of May 2023, one Jane Aston Bandawa, a British national of number 1 Black Johnson Beach Resort, Peninsula, and Granville, during a British Sierra Leonean national of number 1 Sir Samuel Louis Road, Aberdeen Freighter, were arrested and brought in for investigation on an alleged offense of incitement and righteous conduct. A brief fact of the matter is the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources, in order to develop the fisheries sector, developed a fish harbour project to be established at the Black Johnson Beach Resort. Due to the depth of the water, low tide, lack of settlement, and limited settlement, the project constitutes a platform of waste management facility, office space, cold room, and other facilities. The project was approved by Parliament, endorsed by His Excellency, retired Brigadier Dr. Julius Maada Bio, and it was funded by the Chinese government, for which a grant of $55 million was given for the said project. A committee was set comprising of the Anti-Corruption, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Environmental, and then Ministry of Lands, to identify areas where this fishing harbour should be established. In the course, they identified areas at Black Johnson where they were to construct the said project. Surprisingly, Madam Chen claimed to own the land identified by this committee, that they are not allowed to utilize it or access it. There was a confrontation for which she stood before the machine, stopping the machine from going to the land. And in the course, she was arrested and brought in. But she has produced a document claiming that she legally owned the land, and mentioned some names from whom, according to her, bought the said land. Even though she said that some of these people are not alive, but 2 are still existing. The investigation team is yet to contact these 2 people. Now, from the lands, Ministry of Lands, they indeed admitted that she produced a document, but according to the coordinates, the land does not fall at Black Johnson or Big Water. So in that case, she was not compensated for the said land. And secondly, it's a forestall land that belongs to the state, not a private property. We are still on the investigation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Now we've had the reports. We want to turn the mic over to you. We are turning the mic over to you. Over to you. Oh, Abbas. Okay. Abbas, are you there? Akemi. Abbas. Okay. Network. Oh. Okay. So we turn over the mic to you guys. You have questions? Yeah, let's start from here.
Good afternoon. My name is Amadou Esba, and I report for TDN Africa Media.
What is TDN?
The True Diaspora Network. We are an online streaming platform. True Diaspora Network.
Oh, two. TRU.
Yes.
UE.
UE. According to you, Mr. Momaja, Brahmaja, I beg your pardon. The police is not prepared to lose any police officer. And we pray that does not happen. How prepared is the police to protect the citizens of the state during and after this election? And according to you, the SLPP informs you on all their plans, especially on their visits. The public may like to know.
He said the president. He said the president.
Okay, the president.
The movement of the president.
The movement of the flag bearer. That is the SLPP. Yes. So now the public may like to know: is the main opposition APC party not doing that? On the call for a peaceful protest by the All People's Congress, if the ECSL fails to meet to their request, especially on the publishment of the voter register, the public may like to know, you being part of the ENBs, have you engaged the APC in order to deter this proposed protest?
I think you can hold your fire. You've asked the questions. Let's give the...
Engage the opposition? But you are specific.
Yes, Suma.
Yes, sir. Suma, Mariama, SLPC. AIG, sir.
Yes, please.
We are not prepared to lose any police officer in the country. So, what are your plans to protect police officers?
All right, plans to protect.
Yes, I do. You still briefings?
Writing for exclusive. And the All People's Congress.
Yeah, the question is directed to
any one of you can answer it. There was a campaign scheduled for the All People's Congress yesterday in Bonn. They alleged that some people are alleged to be SLPP supporters attacked their members and supporters and inflicted some injuries on some of their members. We want to know if the police made any arrest of those alleged SLPP supporters. Thank you.
Alvin, yes.
Samuel EGPS from AYV. On Sunday, there was a high police presence at Aberdeen along the beach, and they said that the police stopped beach jogging. So I may want to know why.
Oh, that one was in place long before this time. Yes, Laura.
Yes, sir.
Not you. Yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Victor Soa from Sky. The question I want to ask is that during the electoral process, that is during the time that people are going to cast in their vote, election. I'm talking about election now. They say during election time people are. Okay. I'm trying to ask that during election day, when people are about to cast in their vote, now 24, people may be recalcitrant, maybe after voting they will not be able to, they don't have to return back. So how is it stand of the police in the situation?
All right, you will have answer on that. If they refuse to go back.
You allow me to ask all the questions. Yes. You're going to do
Yes, for the attack of the High Court Judge. That, apart from cutting away properties, I want to know if actually he was armed like the other.
Oh, others armed?
Yes, because he not mentioned that if he was armed. Yes.
No, not AGR. Maybe it was personally injured, whatever, if he was shot.
Question number 2.
Yeah.
See, I want to go.
What's it?
Who's to answer on it? Answer.
Good afternoon.
No.
My name is Aruna Rashid Toma Bangola, Deputy Editor. Aruna Rashid Toma Bangola, Deputy Editor, Africa 21 newspaper. I'm posing my question to the head of Community Relations. Madam Silva, political violence, bullying, and intimidation are rife at regional, district, and ethnic level during electionary period. We want to know how best are your robust plan towards mitigating these menaces.
You know, some of the issues were explained, but maybe you want somebody to reiterate. Most of the issues were explained.
And you should explain.
Any other person?
We'll explain later.
Whether we
One go.
Larry, want to ask? All right, take the mic.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Larry Maskama from Freedom Radio. Well, this is concern about drugs issues. About drugs issues, especially push at the issue in the youth of today. How best is the police ready to tackle the drugs issues?
Yes. You make your question very short and to the point. Thank you. So it's our turn. We're gonna give you the actions to your questions, please.
Thank you very much. How prepared is SLP? The main political party not doing that. If as a parent you are losing your child, you must agree with me, it's very painful. So also when we are in leadership, more so on reason. What we want you all to understand is that we always engage the political parties, even where they do not come to engage us, but by intelligence, we understand that what they are doing are not correct. We contact them. We engage them. We agree. They only face us when they deviate from what we agree on, like I said, for example. So we continue to engage them. That is why we have gone down to community level by actually engaging the LPP members. In fact, we have gone beyond the LPP members. We have now the youth volunteers that actually police their communities with the police. And so if there are concerns, we still continue through you and other media outlets to inform them that violence is not the proper way to address it. If they engage us, we will listen to their concerns, I will do our level best to address them. But when they decide not to go that way, we will let them face the full force of the law. Making it specific where the individual said, have you engaged the APC to deter them from going against what is agreed on? Let me commend them for the other movement of Dr. Samora Kamara when he decided to, I think he decided to have to perform the prayers at Tonkolimba. I remember the Secretary General and the Lawyer Timbo were in the office of the Inspector General, and I was privileged to be there also. We agreed, as usual, the number of vehicles in the convoy of Dr. Samora, and that one was to be 5. They maintained that. Although we realized that 1 or 2 or 3 vehicles were added, but they were just harmless. And so it's only now I'm telling you people. So from Freetown, he went to Mambolo. He went to Mambolo. From Mambolo, he went to Kasiri, to Tonkoliba, and all these places.
But because we had discussed and he agreed and actually worked in accordance with what we agreed on, there was no problem. Even we are 2 or 3 vehicles, we allowed them, and since they were actually in line with what we agreed and he obeyed the rule of law, there was no problem. And so, if we engage the public, we made it known that you have concerns, you make it known to the police, will address them, and you think you will not do that. You really want to go against the law, we will not allow you to go against the law. We will bring you in. That is why we have actually established, if you may recall, investigation units right across the country that has to do with elections. So quickly they will investigate. Where we have evidence, we send them to court. So, but we still continue through you and other outlets to tell them that violence is not the way. And if I tell you that I'm going to tell you the history of political violence of this country, it's too long. But we have not gained anything from that. I'll begin from 1968, where 67, where the violence was so serious that it led to coups and counter-coups, and Shaka Stadium was installed in 1968, and he decided to conduct by-elections that was violent, serious violence right across the country. We did not gain anything from that. But prior to that, there was urban protectorate disagreements. And with all the very good history I told you about Sierra Leone being the seat of British administration for West Africa, Sierra Leone having private college at the first university of Sub-Saharan Africa, the University of Sierra Leone. But then we lagged behind because of political disunity, because of disagreement. That is why Nigeria, that we took education to, and the same thing to Ghana, gained independence before us. So that tells you when you are not politically united, you are not tolerant, you lag behind. Ghana, 1957, Nigeria, 1960. Before we came, that was the disunity. In 1973, the violence was so serious that the SNPP had to withdraw. In 1977, the student demonstration nearly knocked off the APC. In 1978, the one party still thinking that when we just have a single political party, then we will not have problem in the country. But that was not the case. In 1982, villages were attacked, people were killed, and houses burned down, like the house haunted and the opponent in Kabbalah, like Timo Bangura and Timbo, Kodi Zulita in Sanda, and the Doboishui in Pujam. And so that shows that even when we had single political system, we could not really be united. And then the worst actually came, the 1991 rebel war, which lasted nearly 11 years. When President Kaba decided to actually engage them through negotiated peaceful settlement, people said no, the atrocities were so much. But in his wisdom and his international exposure, he decided to go that way. We got the peace. And under his leadership, apart from the time he was overthrown and later brought back, we really enjoy relative peace. Structures were put in place to address those violence, like we have the ONS, like we have the IESBC, all those other structures were put in place to address the violence. But in 2007, where utterances were made that would make Sierra Leone ungovernable, we were going degenerating into political violence. But we realized that in 2012, even though the then opposition party was denied hearing in the court of law, but they decided not to go that way. So, but in 2018, we lost 10% on the peace index, and so we lost even its space as one of the most tolerant countries in the sub-region. And so from there, we have been having very serious problems, leading for the first time to the loss of 7 police officers. So we are still degenerating. Now, when you are losing the game, you change the rules. We are not changing the rules to people on the wrong side, but we are admonishing members of the society that it is only the country we can call separately. And there is nowhere else we can go and call it home. So we let people understand if you have issues to address, it's provided for, and follow that channel. If you are going the other way, we will bring you to face the full force of that. And those who refuse to go home, there is a distance provided when you vote where you stay around. We don't expect people when they vote, they stay at those centers. No. We expect them to go about their normal business. And that is why we'll be providing snapshot checkpoints based on intelligence. Because there are instances where people will go to Waterloo in full force, they disrupt in the past. It used to happen in the past. And by the time you understand what's happening, they are in Kisi and they are in Ross Road. Now, we actually provide them. We establish checkpoints, we get hold of them, investigate, and send them to court. Campaign at the month. We contact our police officers in that region to see how far they have gone with the investigation of that, and we'll get back to this problem. Regarding political violence across the country, I made it known that we have actually deployed with the military right across the country fully to deter those who believe in violence and not raw. And so we are robust. Regarding drugs, we at management level here, this conference hall we are occupying, the regional commanders have been tasked to conduct raids, and they have been doing it. They conduct raids to get us. If you remember in Waterloo, in Freetown West, all around, so that those in the ghettos will be arrested, the drugs will be taken to police station, assessed with, and they will be charged to court. So we are fully prepared. We have 2 vehicles. We are on red alert, and that's why you find out that my colleague here gave you a number, and the report Freetown East will give you numbers that you'll be able to contact for the people to be addressed. So, but we want force, as I always say, to be the last resort. Force have been and will always be the last resort. So we come to members of the public that whatever they wanted to be addressed is provided for in the law. So why not go the law way? So that it can be addressed peacefully. If you refuse that, you want to cause instability, no. It is equally provided for in the law as how you'll be handled. And that is what we follow. I thank you.
Thank you, Director. These are very interesting questions. It may seem we want to deprive people of their right when we tell them don't go to the beach to jog. But I want to say that this management is for human rights. This management has people right from the IG to the AIGs who are very human rights conscious. So anything we do, always remember that we are doing it for the security and safety of the whole country. So if you see us stopping people don't go to the beach, we will not gain anything from stopping people from going to the beach. There's nothing we are going to have to enjoy. We don't enjoy doing it. But we can only do it justice to ensure that the country and the cities are safe. It's for safety measures. We are the ones that deal with security, and so we are privy to lots of intelligence. Yes, we do not have to come outside to begin to explain to you some of the nitty-gritties of the intelligence we have. But if you are told that people want to go out under the pretext of jogging and breach national security, then we have to take actions. A part of that action could be proactive action like you see us doing the day of Sunday. So instead of allowing you to go to the beach to converge, which was a possible place of convergence, we can prevent you. So those things you see us doing are things that are based on the intelligence that we have at hand. You noted that my colleague just told you that in Togo, some people actually converged. And they were doing the sort of things that the law does not appreciate. They were asked to disperse, and there was a standoff between them and the police. So this was what we were trying to prevent in Freetown West. That was why we were there very early in the morning and asking people gently, please don't go to the beach. In any case, you don't have to go to the beach to become physically fit. I know a lot of people here are doing the exercises in their rooms, in their verandas, in their gyms. So there's no justification to say that if I don't go to the beach, I'm not going to be physically fit. But the message is for them to know that our actions are intended to ensure that people remain safe and enjoy the safety. And by extension, we must also know that this right we enjoy can be taken if it is discovered that the enjoyment of a right can actually impede on the right of other people. So that is why you see today alone, if you listen to our boss, the director of operation, he repeatedly, more than how many times, mentioned the words, the rule of law, obedience, compliance to the rule of law. So that is the bigger message you all have to take. Let us just a little bit try to obey the laws. Then we have no problems with the police. We could have no problems. So for the jogging, that is it. And for the general security issues, he has actually adequately answered your questions. Somebody was asking, how do we deal with those ones who refuse to go away? Tell them, please, when you vote, go to your house, because that's what the law says. That's what the law says. If you have a reason to be alive, you have to be 400 meters away. And we will not hesitate to take rules. I think my Rep of Freetown West, we have to ask IG to get us take rules in our divisions. So if you say it is my right to be here, we can measure. Because if you are within less than 40 meters, then we can have you arrested. And I don't think it makes any sense for you to put yourself in that kind of jeopardy. Don't forget, once you convict, that's a criminal offense. It's going to your criminal record. So please, talk to the people. You must have to have a very good reason to reach a justice. Because the law does not want you to stay around so that the noises you are causing, the intrusions you are doing to the police stations or police centers can disturb those that are in the police centers. That is why for all political parties, they have their representatives. And the police is there. Nobody is going to force any political party agent to say, do this. So please, the bigger message for you is to tell them to be compliant. And we'll tell you, we're going to take groups or take rules to actually measure. If you want to try it, we're not joking, we'll do it. The general preparedness, that's why if you go, for those of you who go out at night, We are witnesses to what we are doing in terms of how we want to deal with general security and violence tendencies. And he has also eloquently told you that on the day of elections, you are going to see deployment. Maybe very robust than this. You will see patrols. He informed you that the IGP has procured for us new vehicles. So we are going to be patrolling all over the place, all these your corners. People will go and vote and return back in safety. But for those who want to cause havoc, there's going to be a template for them of how we are going to deal with them. So tell the populace that their safeties are guaranteed, especially in this city of Britain and everywhere. Drugs is a huge problem, and again, we want to tell you that we are not sleeping. Every day we are conducting raids. We do this is a normal thing, one of the basic normal things. So for us, it's not so strategic that we have to be talking to you every day that we are arresting people into the ghettos and we are sending them to court. But if you go across our divisions, you can see that on a daily basis, we are running after these boys in the street, we are running after them in the ghettos, and as we arrest them, we are sending them to court. I think that's what we have for you for this. Thank you.
It has been a long day, very long day. Except one to engage on the personal level after the engagement. But let us bring the party down and we've come to the end of this press conference. I want to thank you for coming on behalf of the chairman for chairing this meeting. Thank you, sir.
TDN Africa. TDN Africa Media. TDN Africa Media.
Mommy say put me online now. I need education, I need information and news. TDN will let you know. We bring you entertainment, we bring you the people's view. We don't just do the talk, we verifying before reporting. We don't just do the talking, we verifying before reporting. In independence and credibility, that's why we are here to bring you unbiased news. We believe in independence and credibility, because we are here to bring you unbiased news.